Hey, thank you. I'm not able to share my screen. I think I need to. Oh, okay, got it now. Thank you. Just bear with me a sec. Um, there you go. I hope you all are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time to join me today for me to share with you on how VxRail and Dell data protection solutions are perfect together in protecting the VxRail environment and at the same time VMware workloads. My name is Hivi. I'm the senior system engineer from the data protection solutions, and I'll be running you the sessions. Be sharing this session to you today. So I think first of all, I just want to give you all a recap, right? What is a VxRail? I believe you might have heard it in the last week, one of the sessions to share you about the how VxRail can help you to modernize your IT transformation. So in a nutshell, just a very quick recap over here that VxRail is the only jointly engineered hyperconverged infrastructure system together with Dell and VMware for VMware environment to enhance VMware workload. So, with this, we actually have it's simple, scalable, and powerful, to help your customers to make the data center modernization. And of course, today when we talk about this, the VxRail are able to support your customers any type of use case from VDI, Kubernetes, artificial intelligence, SAP HANA, and many, many more, right? So as you know, VxRail is powered by VMware. So this session is really here to be sharing with you what the Dell innovations have, which optimize the data protections for VxRail and the VMware environment. So before I talk about how we can help your customers or you to modernize their data protections for their VxRail and VMware environment, I just want to share a bit of a top few things for you to know about what is Dell data protections, right? So over here, I'm going to spend a few minutes just to highlight a few things, for those that have not heard about Dell data protection. The first one is we are the #1 in the data protection appliance and software market leader. The second one is we are the widest protected. We have the widest protected workload ecosystem, for all sort of customers' workload that you have. And we also have the largest portfolio to address every RTO and RPO use cases that your customers have today. And again, when it comes to modern workloads, a lot of your customers might be looking into having a cloud solutions and or a hybrid cloud, right? Our solutions can cater those multi-cloud environment as well, okay? And the other thing is ransomware. The other thing is on about cyber recovery. I think this is very, very important to all of us and our customers as well, right? If you look into ransomware, it has become a very rampant. And I mean, if you go to Google today and you look at the news, type a ransomware news, almost every day, there's going to be a few corporations get affected by ransomware. So Dell Data Protection, is the only one with the true air-gap solution that is endorsed by the Sheltered Harbor Financial Industry Consortium in the US for that. And when it comes to VMware, right, a lot of innovations we have with VMware, we are the only solutions that unifies the protections of VMware virtual machines and the Kubernetes containers today, all under a single console. And again, another very important feature is about our best-in-class deduplication technology, which is up to 65:1 deduplication ratio, right? Which can help you to protect your customers, more of your customers' data with a lesser storage footprint. Okay. The eighth point would be quite interesting as well. No pause mission critical workloads protection. So we are also the first that actually jointly engineered together with VMware to develop what we call it a transparent snapshots to back up mission critical workloads without the need to pause the VM during the backup. I'll be sharing a bit more in the later in the later slide as well. And we talk about simplicity, right? So we have a very simplified deployment with our Power Protect DP, data protection appliance, which can deploy in hours rather than days. And with all these benefits that we have together, right, we are able to provide you and your customers the lowest cost to protect, the data protection appliance in a 2U form factor in the industry. Okay, just a quick few points to share about what is, the top things you need to know about Dell data protection. And then why you need to optimize your data protections for your customers. If you look at the current, because of the modern transformation, the IT transformation, digital transformation that is going on, with all this optimization or modernization of the data protection solutions will help to benefit your customers from a lower cost perspective, simplicity perspective, protecting their environment from cyber attacks such as ransomware, giving them a cloud-enabled environment as well, and again, control costs and secure data access. So with the data protection trend today, where data is the new oil, organizations are investing heavily in a backup and recovery solution. And why is data protection so critical today? It's because it's very vital to your business success. If any data is lost today, this can affect the business revenue. It could affect your customers. It could affect your organization reputation as well. But as you can see, with all the challenges that we are having from the growth of data, the transformations required, and the need to do more with less, and then with all these increased cyber crimes and security challenges, right? More than ever, you and your customers would need a partner that can help you to help them to maximize their IT investments with all the limited resources, and help them to leverage the benefits of the cloud computing and modern apps. So by knowing all these trends and challenges that is going on, Dell, looking into protecting the VxRail environment, we have solutions where we call it the DP4400, right? So it's a backup appliance, which is simple and powerful data protection for VxRail. Usually they come together. So when you have the VxRail as your so-called hyperconverged infrastructure, you can position the DP4400 that can tag along, together with it, because it's integrated together and there has an integration between VxRail and DP4400. With all this integration, it helps to reduce the cost of the IT transformation. So the next slide, I'm just going to share with you why all these benefits about the DP4400. So it's not just for VxRail environments, right? It could be for your any other workloads from VMware to Hyper-V to your physical servers, etc. But over here today, we are talking about improving the the VMware environment. So I'm going to share more about that. So what's the beauty about this 2U appliance, right? The Power Protect DP4400. So let's forget about this for now. We look into our traditional backup infrastructure. So a lot of times when you need to help your customers to come up with the solutions, you need to think about, hey, what backup software should I be using? Okay, I've selected backup software A, and now I need to look at what software and what operating system should I be using to install my backup software. And then you need to look into the server compatibility. And then the last but not least, where should I store the backup data? So with all these complexity over there, where you need to ensure that all these three components from software, servers, and storage having a certain compatibility, Dell helps you and your customer to take that complexity away by introducing a DP4400, or our data protection appliance, which is everything integrated from Dell Factory. As you can see on the screen, with this 2U appliance itself, it comes with the backup software, with the recovery capability. It comes with the replications capability feature as well for disaster recovery. Deduplication, where this is very important to help your customers to protect more data with a lesser storage footprint. And cloud enable, where some of your customers protecting their VMware workloads, they want to leverage the cloud as the disaster recovery site. We are able to help to support that, or using the cloud object storage to store their long-term retention data instead of using tapes, right? And I think that's for the cloud side. Instant access and recovery, where we can help to, how would I call it? Recover virtual machines that are being protected by this appliance in the matter of seconds. And of course, with all the VMware integration, search and analytics capability. So as you can see, all these features are packed into one 2U appliance where we would take away all the complexity away, right? And then at the same time, we will reduce the deployment hours from days to hours, at the same time giving you a simple and efficient data protection solution. As you know, VxRail is also using the VMware as part of the hypervisors, right? So all these key points that I'll be sharing with you, it's very relevant to VxRail. Or if you're not using VxRail, or if you're using a VMware environment, this is what are the initiatives that Dell has, right, in order to make our data protection more optimized for customers that are using VMware or VxRail environment. So I'm going to touch on 3 key pillars. First of all, I'm going to talk about the VMware integration. So if we look at the VMware integration, which touch points do we have, right? If you look at all the icons in the screen over here, from vSphere Web Clients all the way to the vRealize automation, we are able to integrate into individual components, all of these individual components. Let me give an example. From the WebSphere client and vSphere vCenter itself, right? When we integrate our data protection solutions in there, the virtual machine admins do not need to log into our software in order to perform so-called a backup and recovery task. All they need to do is they can still use their vCenters, they can log into their vSphere web clients and configure the backup and recovery all the way from there. And then we talk about vRealize automation. I'm going to share in the next few slides. And we talk about Kubernetes, Tanzu, vCloud Director, multi-cloud VMware. We'll share all of this in the later slides later on. So we have a very tightly knitted integration with VMware because we all have we share the same lab to develop the technology in the data protection as well. So the other one, what we provide to the customers with our data protection solution is by meeting, we believe automations will help to meet our customers' current needs and future needs as well, right? Because it will provide the customers with the best-in-class data efficiency, the capability to backup and restore and scale easily without any physical constraint. So let's look into the automation. What is the automation that I'll be sharing about, right? If you look at the screen, we have from the virtual machine layers, we can perform hands-free data protections for those virtual machines, right? As long as the certain virtual machines being created falls under a certain names category, you can configure it to automatically apply data protections policies into those virtual machines. So you will never miss protecting a virtual machine. And then when it comes to data movers or virtual proxy servers, the system is intelligent enough to do a calculation based on the amount of virtual machines that you have. How many virtual proxies do you need to deploy in your environment in order to have an efficient, fast, and stable backup and recovery? And when it comes to networking itself, because of our deduplication technologies, we are able to use less capacity and less bandwidth in order to perform the backup and recovery itself. So, with all these kind of automation, we will help customers, to to have optimize their so-called workload in a way to help them to free up more of the administration time, and then so they can spend more time on the more business critical tasks. Okay, so we also have the like what I mentioned earlier, the integration to provide simplified self-service data protection and administration through the interface that your customers already know. So with our integration with VMware vRealize, we are able to achieve that. For example, when I mentioned about that, the first one, we look into the virtual admins are able to take control of their data protection of their applications using the native VMware interface, and then they can embed their backup policies in their blueprint. The second one is on backup admins or protection admins can then define their own backup policies and monitor the environment itself. Last but not least, end users have a play as well. They are able to have the capability to self-service their day two operation, such as provision a protected apps, or do an on-demand backup and recovery job for themselves. This capability will simplify again and automate the data protections for your environment that can again help to save administration time and giving the flexibility to your customers. This is something that is in preview, protect mission critical virtual machines, right? Dell Technologies itself, we are previewing this new feature that we're gonna release this in a second half this year, right? So what is the beauty of this? This eliminates the need to pause virtual machines during a backup. With this feature, large mission critical VMs can be backed up without business disruption by using snapshots and data movement technologies that is developed by Dell Technologies and VMware together. Previously, if you look into customers that needs to protect a very, very big SQL database, etc., when they perform so-called VM backup, etc., of those databases, you will get experience where they get interrupted because they need to pause it in order for the snapshots to be created before it gets back up itself. With these transparent snapshots, you no longer need to choose between availability and protection. This new feature, will help you to back up your mission critical data efficiently without any disruption. So over here, just gonna give you a very quick glance of the traditional snapshots and the transparent snapshots, right? So if you look at the labs results, typically the traditional snapshots, you can see there's will cause the VMs to be unresponsive or inactive during the snapshots being taken, challenges with the performance during the backup. With transparent snapshots, you can see that eliminates the need to pause it. So there won't be any issues with performance and availability of the system. And the next thing is about the cloud and the VMware cloud collaboration. So Dell collaborate and integrates with VMware that helps to bring the first certified VMware cloud workload protection solution to the market. So it's a joint engineering initiative, okay, that helps to bring modern the next generation of the protection for VMware workloads at the edge, core, or the multi-cloud. So with this, as you can see, any of the workloads that you have today on-prem or in the VMware cloud can be protected in the vice versa. And again, all these are because of the integration together with Dell Data Protection and VMware itself. So if you have your workloads running in VxRail on-prem, and if you want to do using the VMC as a DR location, you'll be able to do that. Okay. So the second pillar that I will be sharing, it's about cloud native and Kubernetes. Okay. So let's go into the next one. So as organizations are moving to pursue the modern transformation, data protection strategies must evolve as well. So don't let the multi-cloud complexity to slow you or your customer down, right? With the widest protected workload ecosystem that we have, Dell will get you covered in this kind of situation. Whether you want to leverage the cloud computing now or in the near future, Dell, we have 100% cloud-enabled data protection solution that can help you in a few use cases like public cloud protection, cloud disaster recovery, long-term retention, hybrid cloud integration, or cloud native, etc. Right? So this is also built for VMware together with VMware and can protect the VMware workloads regardless where they are running. And going into Kubernetes, right, we have to protect a Kubernetes. We have our so-called Power Protect Data Manager, which is also part of DP4400, right? So it's our answers to the modern challenges by offering a protection for these Kubernetes workloads. Which these solutions are able to provide enterprise-grade features such as scheduling, catalog, policy, compliance, replication, and service level agreement itself. So, this is built in collaboration with Valero, and it supports cloud native architecture and the K8 community itself. And when it comes to VMware, again, VMware have their own Tanzu platform, right? By leveraging Kubernetes as the control plane of vSphere, this will enable developers and IT operators to be able to build, run, and manage their apps to compromise of containers or virtual machines. And at the same time, data protection for the VMware Tanzu. So we are we have an integrated solutions from VMware with Dell together to bring the past parts of Kubernetes data protection together. So we also support a lot of from full and incremental backups for cloud native storage, like Tanzu Kubernetes Crete, Project Pacific, and protecting guest cluster through the vSphere control plane, and all to help them to protect the workloads in the Tanzu environment. So the next one is about VMware Cloud Foundation. So, some of you might be using VxRail to run your vCloud Foundation management domain, right? So Dell is the only vendor today that offers a VMware certified solutions to protect their VMware Cloud Foundation management workload domain. So one of the fundamental aspects of the cloud foundation is the concept of the workload domain. A workload domain is a policy-based resource containers with specific ability and combines the compute of vSphere, storage, and networking into a single consumable entity, right? So during the bring up, the management domain is automatically created in a vCenter cluster in the Cloud Foundation system. So the management domain is the heart of the software-defined data center stack. So it hosts the entire management infrastructure, such as the vCenter server and the NSX management plane component. So it is very critical to ensure that you are able to protect this management domain to ensure your business continuity. So we are the only one that's certified to protect the VMware Cloud Foundation workloads here. Earlier, I heard a lot of you talk about the continuous data protection. So of course, we also have our CDP as well, technology as well. It's called Recover Point for virtual machines. So the use cases that you can use it is for disaster recovery, operational recovery, and you can use it for data migration. So with this technology, it can help you and your customers to achieve the lowest RTO and RPO, ever in a way for your VMware workload. So the last pillar that I will be sharing with you, it's about cyber recovery, right? So today, as we mentioned earlier, there is a lot of so-called cyber attacks like ransomware or the malware. So Dell is also the only one in the market that has the truly isolated automated air-gap wall that has the Sheltered Harbor certification, and this matters a lot, right? So I'll just give you a bit of information about how this cyber recovery and data protection leadership came across. So it was first started in 2015, where it's the isolated recovery solution with the custom deployment. And then we introduced the 2018 PowerProtect Cyber Recovery solution. And then we got endorsed by the Sheltered Harbor as part of the vendor for the Sheltered Harbor solution partner vendor itself. And in 2021, we introduced this cyber recovery solution to be able for you to support multi-cloud and even building the wall in AWS. Okay. So why is it so important to have a cyber recovery wall in your environment, right? These typically involve the backup. I'm going to spend a bit more time over here. So if you look at a solution, a lot of time your customers might be telling you that, hey, I do not need a cyber recovery wall. I have the best firewall in place. I have the best DLP. I have the best antivirus that I'm deployed in the organization today. But take note, these malware or these cyber attackers, they are evolving as you on a daily basis, right? They are making them more sophisticated. And I think one of the most important thing is, not every solution gives you a 99 or 100% guarantee on preventing that. So really a cyber recovery solution is a last line of defense in case of when everything fails, we are able to help you to recover your business critical data. So if you think about it, there's another thing that we could not prevent, right? It's insider attacks. Insider attacks as in someone that is not happy with the company, or they have access to the system itself. They can go in and delete those particular important business critical files. So how do we prevent this? So these cyber recovery solutions from Dell, we are able to do a few things, which is ensure that your business critical data is secure and free from ransomware. We help you to prevent insider attacks. And when disaster strikes, we let you know which one is the last known good copy for you to recover that is free from the ransomware. Okay, so these are the three things that we do. So let me share a bit more on the process. If you look at the screen itself, you'll be seeing there is a production environment, your data centers, you will have your backup, solutions, right? Backing up data from the production side. And you can see that, from the green folders, they are your business critical data. So what PowerProtect Cyber Recovery does is we actually create a cyber recovery wall, okay, where we will synchronize all these business critical data into the cyber recovery wall, which is an air gap. So this is automated. The moment the synchronization stops, the network is cut, and then the physical location of the cyber recovery wall is restricted as well. No one can access it, right? So this will help to ensure that your system is, your cyber recovery wall is physically and logically isolated from the production environment. So if we look into the data has been synchronized into the cyber recovery wall, then what will happen, right? We'll put in an immutable lock. We'll make a copy, we make an immutable lock into it. So no one can comes in and delete or change this particular data. So so this is part of the criteria, to prevent those ransomware to come in and attack. So you might have a question that that ask me, that since maybe the ransomware has been synchronized into the vault, so how do you know which copy it's bad, which copy is not? So we have an analytics engine over there inside the vault as well that perform the analysis of all the backup data that is being synchronized to the vault on a daily basis. So once they have detected any suspicious any suspicious files or files that might be compromised, what they will do is they will actually notify the IT security team and then let them know about the suspicious file. And then the IT security team would be able to go in and have a look. Of course, the reports that being provided will be like, these are the bunch of files that is being affected, suspicious, who are the users of these, who are owning these files, and again, which of the last known copy of the files that are not affected by this particular ransomware. So then the IT admin can make the recovery plans to see how they want to recover those data itself. Okay, so with this, why choose Dell Technologies, to help to protect your VxRail or your VMware environment? So 4 key points to take away. We are lower cost because of our architecture that helps along with our deduplication technology. Of course, the next one is integration. We have the most advanced integration with VMware in the market today because a lot of our solutions are core engineered with VMware. Third point, it's the automation, where we put in a lot of automation to help to simplify operations and reduce business risks. And last but not least, this solution is proven, a lot of solution is proven and being backed by Dell Technologies itself. With this, if you need more resources about, what we can do to help you to protect your VMware environment or your VxRail environment, you can find more details over here. delltechnologies.com/VMware protection. And, if you have my email, you can feel free to drop me an email for me to help to answer any of your questions that you have. Or if you are interested in any of those particular use cases that we shared, from the cyber recovery to protect your backups from ransomware, from the automations, the integrations, the cloud, please come to me and let me know so I can be able to help you. So with this, I'm just gonna stop here for a few seconds, a few minutes, to see if there is any questions from the audience. So let me just check.